Normal players, if you're playing less than 15 hours a week, at most maybe 20, you're a typical adult gamer, you need to stop making these simple mistakes, because moving forward in Apex Legends Ranked, the more you do this, the more it's going to cost you. My name is Flame078, the normal gamer, breaking down Apex from the typical average perspective. So let's discuss why I failed to get the diamond in Split 1 of Season 16. The biggest struggle for the typical normal adult gamer is time, and if we don't use that effectively, we're gonna be in for a really rough time playing Apex Legends Ranked. But one thing you need to understand before we break down the mistakes is that the player base is getting better. Your platinum, your gold lobbies are getting harder as the seasons progress, because in general, as new players mature, as everyone matures in playing Apex Legends Ranked, it's going to get tougher. So it might be easier for you this season to get through gold and platinum, but maybe next season you're gonna find yourself struggling. So you need to avoid these mistakes in order for you to get consistent results and get to the upper echelons of ranked. So the things that hurt me in Split 1 was not having a sense of direction when I sat down to play, because my time was all over the place this split, and more on that in a second. Also playing angry or trying to compensate for negative RP, and lastly, trying not to be selfish. Because let's get one thing straight, by all accounts, I definitely put in the time, played enough games to get to where I wanted, which was Diamond. Comparing my stats from other seasons, I definitely played enough. But what was different this time around? And remember, when I say putting in the time in, understand that regardless of how ranked is right now, improving and climbing up is going to be a time sink. But like I always say, ranked is not about time in, it's about skill. Because I personally believe that everyone's skill is going to plateau. So no matter how much time you put in after you reach that limit, you're not going to get any better. You know, only certain people. That's why the curve goes down as you climb up, because not a lot of people can achieve the higher ranks, which is totally okay. But in comparing the different stats and looking how much I played, like I should have. I definitely made enough RP to get there, and I fell really short. And I think that was the most frustrating part. And that goes into what I was saying with the mistakes. Because my time was so scattered, I wasn't really focused every time I sat down. So there would be sessions where I gained like 600 to 700 RP, but then other sessions where I would lose just as much or half of that, which negated how effective I was in the time that I was playing. Which actually leads to my second point, trying to compensate or playing angry when I was frustrated with the RP that I was losing. One of the worst things you can do, and this is coming from the solo queue aspect, your experience might be a little bit different if you constantly duo queue or 3-stack. But as a solo queue player, essentially, why playing angry, why playing, for example, just jumping straight into ranked without properly warming up is bad, and it's not a habit you want to get into, is as a solo queue player, you need to be like on your A game all the time. And the gameplay behind you that you're seeing, I just like took it out of one of my most recent games before the split ended, I think encompasses this point correctly, like, or as best as I can describe it. I wasn't playing during my really bad sessions or medium sessions of like, you know, negating good progress that I did days before. I just wasn't in the mindset. It's hard to describe. I just wasn't fully there. So little mistakes like not having correct aim, bad positioning, those started like capitalizing. And like I mentioned in the beginning, the players are gonna punish you for that. People are getting better at this game. You really can't be doing that, especially as a solo queue player. So add those feelings, add that kind of space with losing RP, and you're like, you know, one more game. And eventually, next thing you know, after an hour, after 2 hours, you're like down 400 RP. That's not a habit you want to get into. And that's what was happening to me a lot, due to the fact that I was trying to compensate for having like week and a half breaks between ranked sessions. And again, as a normal player, this is to be expected. This is going to happen simply because this is our hobby, not our day-to-day job or life, you know what I mean? And my last point about being selfish honestly really only applies to the solo queue player, because as a solo queue player, since your experience is wildly inconsistent because you don't know what kind of duos you're going to get or what kind of team you're going to get, if you don't capitalize and learn how to play by yourself or learn how to call it quits, it's going to cost you. There have been many instances where when I died, I knew I was like, I should not have did it with my team. I definitely should have just backed out. And there goes into leading into what I recommend always on this channel when you're solo queuing. Pick legends that help you be more selfish. So what I'm going to work on moving forward, because I want to get to Diamond 3 in Season 17, but in order to do that, well, first I need to get to Diamond again in Split 2 of Season 16, but I also need to just start minimizing those mistakes. So here are a couple of rules that I'm going to have moving forward. 1. To avoid losing that massive RP, have a cutoff. For me, it's going to be 3 games, maybe 4 tops, depending on what rank I'm in. Because losing -45, -50 as you're approaching Diamond is not going to do you any good. And look, 3 games, it's already 150 RP lost. You don't want to be doing that. So whatever, if good or bad day, cut it off at 3 in a row just to see. And maybe you don't have to like call it quits for the day, but do a reset, refocus, and then come back and try it again. And the other thing I'm going to be doing is working on my game, working on mastering different legends, just because I want to learn how they work. I want to learn how to fight against them. So I'm actually going to be working on a series where I get 1,000 kills with each legend, just so I can get that kind of aggro and game sense really up. You know, there's those good reps to be had when you're kill grinding in pubs that I can translate over to ranked. So if you're interested in that journey, make sure to hit that subscribe button. But the more important thing why I want to master legends is to find more legends that I can work with as a solo queue player. My go-tos always for a rank that I recommend are Bangalore, Crypto. Now with the support legends, any of the support legends, my top 2 are Newcastle or Loba. These legends allow and provide team value, but also allow me to play a little bit more selfishly. But this is a learning process, ever changing, ever evolving. Thank you for listening to this kind of spiel randomness that I have going on. I make daily videos, so again, make sure to check that out. Check out my catalog, and if you're interested in the journey of a normal player trying to climb through the ranks, I'm your guy. I'm that guy, all right? I hope you guys have a blessed one. Take care. My name is Flame078. Till the next time. Adios.